I've been trying to improve my skills in Roll20 here, and so I'm very proud of myself at loading a blank map with a picture on it. Go me, yay! And I wanted to use the picture as general reference here, but as you are going to be inside of a cave, um, would you like would you like me to draw, or would one of you like to act as the cartographer as you begin your exploration inside this mine?
Hmm.
I don't
I'll,
mind
I'll
doing
let
it,
that
but
one.
if it's in the idiom of your character, um, or it's something that you would like to do, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah, I'll leave that to the others because it really isn't in the idiom of my character to do that.
Okay.
Let me put it another way. Does anybody trust Jade to be the cartographer?
This map just looks like spaghetti.
It's not spaghetti. You can't eat the map.
I bet you could try.
I don't know if he says it's not spaghetti. Anything's spaghetti if you get hungry enough.
Yikes.
All right, then Mordecai, Bright.
I played RPGs and adventure games for since 30 years ago, or even more. And back then, everybody had to make maps, and now that's why I don't want to make maps.
Okay,
Jade it is then.
that's fine.
I'll go for it.
You want to give it a go? Sure.
I'll give it a go. Let me see if I can find my other thing here. Okay.
Okay. If I need to get rid of the picture or whatnot, let me know, and I will. I'll do my best here. And so this is going to be a bit of a challenge to make sure that I am describing the. I'm describing the what you're coming across with the scene appropriately, as I'm using my reference up on a not that you can see here. All right, so Celine, everyone is asleep around you. And
Yes.
this would include this would include the dwarf Lycup, and they're all kind of whatever, like twitching or snoring or doing whatever they do in their sleep. Yes, memory lapse.
Yes.
You heard cartography. Though I will say, Mordecai, you don't necessarily worry about being super accurate, because I'm not going to give you the specific dimensions unless you, as Mordecai, are going out of your way to measure dimensions. I'll give you a description of the room, and then if you want to put a little squiggly line connecting the rooms or things like that, you can do so. But unless you tell me you're taking the time to to measure the height of the ceiling and blah blah blah, I'm gonna give you a basic description, and it'll be up to you or the rest of the party to fill in other details as you would want in that room.
Okay.
Okay. So you're on this rescue mission, Celine. This sparkly cloud kind of whooshed around a corner and overtook all of you. It blew out some more of the it blew out some more of the PC or the NPCs, leaving conveniently the one dwarf that you had brought along, Lycup. What are you doing here? You have 4 unconscious people around you, and you're standing here in a dark mine. Kind of some drippy noises. You don't see any other bodies around. And I will describe, because you do have dark vision. You're standing in a vaguely a vaguely oval, longwise room.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know, first glance 50, 60 feet lengthwise, but it's definitely longer than it is taller.
Yep. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by waking up everyone around me because I'm not going through this on my own.
Okay. So kind of
Yes, I'm
going
going
and
to
are
try
you
to
kind of like tapping cheeks or saying, you know, wake up, wake up?
Yeah, shaking them awake.
Oh my.
That's what I do.
Oh my. Oh
Um,
my.
Selena, as you're approaching, well, as you're approaching Jade, you hear some grumblings, and you know she'll wake up with a little bit of a prompt here. As you approach Bright, who apparently is going oh my in her sleep, you are also hearing kind of a cricket lazily
Oh
chirp.
my.
Bright can wake up her cricket, I think.
Cricket can sleep. She's probably not going to be very much use in the mine anyway, unless we can use her chirps as like sonar to help map the mine, but probably not.
I don't think crickets are that good.
Either. So, so Peggy Sue can sleep for as long until we need her or something.
And Mordecai, you can find consciousness as well. Like Cup
Tell
also.
him it's mine. I like my dream better. Can I go back to sleep?
Oh, that was weird. Never had that before in the mine. Oh, that was no poison gas.
No, that was the Fae. Probably those damned pixies.
Faye here in the mines. It is not the common.
Yeah, well, they did say something about returning to the mountain and something about a fountain.
Did you
Something
run
about
out of
not being
canaries?
hanging about us either.
Hey, what? I missed that, Jed.
Did they run out of canaries?
I don't know. Maybe they might have run out of canaries and they're deciding to eat humans instead. Or dwarves, or whatever it is, as it were.
Oh, I thought the
Is there
dwarves
for
ended up
eating?
forgetting.
Well, maybe Jade would, but usually they're not.
Okay. Glad we got that mess. Glad we got that mess cleared up. No. I was wondering. So, why did we suddenly fall unconscious? Why? What purpose did it serve? What happened to us? What happened to us while we ate hosts?
Well, I got you guys down into the mine. Well, we got sucked into the mine. You all got knocked out by what I can only guess is Fey gas. Considering I am not I am technically of Fey ancestry, I can't be put to sleep because I don't sleep.
There is so of that, I'll add on a little bit of so like if this is the tunnel you were coming down, there is that kind of sparkling nebulous cloud that is it's filling the tunnel behind you right there. So it's not moving to overtake you again, but it is sort of clogging up, or otherwise it is settled behind you from whence you've come.
It's at this
Well,
point. Oh,
And
go
we
ahead.
can't even get out. Yay.
Jade begins to light a torch.
Okay.
She looks about, is trying to get a better understanding. Is there any other entrances or exits of this particular point of the mine?
Yes. And Jade, as you begin to reach for your tinderbox to light, Like Up comes over to you. Hold just a moment, and she starts sniffing around, and she goes over and she starts licking a couple of the rocks. Okay, I don't detect anything bad. You may light. You have to watch out. Some of the gases are very subtle. Maybe not to smell, maybe not to taste, maybe sometimes both. You have to check. Otherwise, there could be explosions.
That's entirely fair.
Oh, I seem to be in your, well, domain. My dear acquaintance. So I'm going to have to take your word for it. She does so as she lights the tinderbox and begins to carry the torch, raising it high so her hair doesn't catch fire.
So with a and it crackles, you have this, I don't know, like pine resin torch, something along those lines. You're here in sort of an alpine environment. So you're getting the fire, it kind of spits and shoots out little sparks now and again. The smoke smells kind of pleasant. Smells like pine-ish smoke. And you continue walking through the chamber here, which it does look like the mine that you're seeing, where there's these support beams that are similar to the ones you saw outside. There are no tracks, though. There are no minecart tracks here. This is kind of the best picture I could find for reference. Anyway, there is a tunnel at the other end of this chamber that goes down a short ways before it looks like it starts to curve in like a fish hook. And so I may know, what is the marching order? Because this tunnel is going to be one person comfortably wide.
That's a good question, actually.
Well,
I'll take point.
Okay.
I'll go second. I don't mind. Also, I can see in the dark, kind of like Mordecai. So if the torch goes out or something, it'll be okay. Also, it was a really good idea of you to make your torch with air freshener in it. I think the miners would really appreciate that. You should sell that to them after we're done here.
the trick is using pig fat.
I will, I'll keep my, I'll take back.
Alright, so I guess that makes Jade third in the marching order.
Follow me, and if it gets dark, just put your hand on top of my head, and then you can follow me, and it'll be okay.
Let's see. There's Mordecai. There he is. And then we have our dwarf here, who we will represent here with this kind of a token. All right, so we have. I'm going to zoom in. Mordecai is going first in the marching order, and then it was Bright, and then I'm sorry, who came after Bright? Jade. Celine, do you want to be fourth, or do you want to be in the back and have Lycup be fourth?
I'll let Lycup be fourth because it means earlier for detecting gases and whatnot, which is kind of the reason why we have her down here.
Okay.
Not much of a fighter, so she says. So it's good if she's not in the very back in case something sneaks up on us. It'll just sneak up on Celine, but she'll be immune to whatever it is anyway. So that matters.
Yes, yes, she probably will.
Look, the only thing that I've actually been immune to is the magical sleep. Everything else, I've just been lucky as hell. I mean, the bot bite, that was me. I cast Sanctuary, but.
Okay.
Then the gods favor you, clearly.
Clearly.
Now you are finding signs as you're exploring this area, and as you're going through this tunnel. This part, it wasn't being actively mined because this is probably the oldest part of the mine because you're digging further and further in. Though you are finding some, I guess, loose mining supplies. There'd be a coil of rope, a glove, a helmet here and there. as you are making your way through. And so that might be odd to just find, I guess under normal circumstances, hanging out in a mine. So it might show that miners could have been here at some point in time. But also, why would they leave behind only one glove? Question mark.
I want to investigate all that.
I'd like to as well.
Sure. Then one of you can.
Jackson was mining here earlier.
One of you can roll at advantage.
What's your plus to
1.
investigation? Yeah, no, you can do it. I have a 0.
But I'm not the right one. It's a good roll.
20.
Good job.
So you're scratching your head. You're looking at things.
Mhm.
It doesn't necessarily appear to be a pattern. I mean, it's not spelling out like "help me" or something along those lines. But it would seem that a miner took off a glove and it was left there, or something else took the glove off for him or her and left it. As you are finding more of this minor debris as you're going through this oval room, and as you're making your way through the tunnel here, which will end up kind of fish hooking, almost doing like a. Well, I think that's going to be decent enough, yeah. And it opens into a circular chamber, maybe 30 feet across at most. A little smaller, circular chamber, and it has 2 paths that are branching off of it. And so, for reference here on your version of the map, one would be kind of coming up this way, and the other would be almost opposite it here, as if there was some sort of like a road that was going between. Okay. The path that is the path that is leading this way does have a sign that is written in several languages. Common, Dwarven, Tiefling, or Infernal, I should say. And it says break area that is branching off this way.
Which way is this way?
To the north.
And Con, this is sonar. We're being actively pinged. And the other one has a sign that reads ditch and ledge. Ditch and ledge.
Well, best to end up checking the rest area. The most likely place that they would end up going to, especially if they were waiting to get out of here. Why didn't they walk out earlier? I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't understand either, because I thought there was an avalanche that had sealed people in, but it doesn't seem like anyone is sealed. It seems like this mine is just here. So why haven't they just come out?
It's odd, to say the least.
Is this way and that way? Those aren't ways. Which ways are they? Are those left and right, or what?
Are they left and right? So if you're if you're saying here, then the break area would be to your right, and the area labeled ditch and ledge would be to your left. Unless I'm missing something.
Right.
So yeah, should check the rest area, see if there's anyone there, at least.
Jade places a hand on Mordecai. Well, I'm sure whatever we end up finding, whatever needs to be done, you'll do fine. After all, I'm sure it'll make an epic tale.
One can only hope.
Alrighty. Break area then, it sounds like? This way?
Yeah, I'm approaching slowly, kind of throwing up a dancing lights cantrip.
Oh. Are you going for the multiple little balls of light, or are you making the dancing little humanoid figure?
I'm gonna do the multiple balls. Just have a couple kind of in the main area and one following me.
Okay.
Or ahead of me.
Okay, so Mordecai kind of conjures up. Do you have a name for your dancing lights, similar to how Bright has a name for her unseen servant?
No, it's just the dancing lights.
Okay. All right, so you conjure them, and you all go through this tunnel, which you don't have to necessarily draw it out. It wiggles a little bit back and forth. There's more of these support beams, and for a moment, you think that you actually see a miner that is kind of crouched and huddled, like hugging his or her knees with a head down, and it up against one of the support beams. And as you approach, it just sort of falls apart, and it is an empty mining suit with a helmet and gloves, and so it all just sort of like deflates and falls over.
Is there a dust that's left behind?
There's the dust that you're finding everywhere in this mine, but there's nothing. There's nothing that spills out like it was a scarecrow and it was stuffed with straw, or that it had a bunch of mud inside of it or something.
So it appeared like a person was there, but then they vanished and all their things stayed.
Yeah, the suit was arranged in a way that made it look like it perhaps was someone who's just sort of curled, like knees, sitting on the ground, knees up, head down, and the arms around the knees like this. And when you approach, it just sort of it clatters apart.
I remember from when I was studying at the wizard library that there's like some practice spells, and one of them, when you're learning just to teleport the first time, it's possible if you don't do it right that you can teleport but leave your clothes behind, and then wherever you appear, it's very, very embarrassing. And that's why it's a second level spell, to make sure that you bring your clothes with you.
Aha!
Fair enough.
So maybe they were trying and they just didn't do it right.
Perhaps.
So this mining suit collapses, and there's no bones. You haven't seen any blood. In fact, you haven't even seen any signs of struggle. Where there's, I don't know, blasts or pickaxes with blood or anything along those lines. But you are finding remnants of miners that are just still strewn about.
Actual remains of bodies?
No, of them. Like your theory about maybe they teleported out of their clothes might hold true, because you're not finding bodies, you're not finding blood or guts or teeth or anything along those lines. You're just finding their things. And
no signs of struggle at all.
It does not appear to be, no. Especially because if this person who was kind of curled up in a ball at the edge of the hallway here behind one of these support beams, there was no struggle. Maybe the person was asleep. Maybe they just kind of gave up and something happened and they just vanished.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna continue keeping going, not really paying any mind to the equipment.
Okay. Jade is getting a Jade is being visited by a familiar here.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I found a pot of gold, so here you go.
Oh, Volvo, thank you very much. Now, Volvo, you said you found a pot of gold, so here you go. Are you using that gold in order to purchase some minis, or are you using that to become a fickle god and perhaps aid or hinder our PCs or your DM, your sweet dear DM, who was made to yodel last session?
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, doesn't it? All right, so while he's considering, you get some twists and turns, and Mordecai, you are in the lead. I would like you to give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
How did I know?
Obviously you didn't, or else you wouldn't have made the saving throw.
Okay. As you're walking, there's a sudden and crack, 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 and one of the support beams of the mine gives under maybe some added pressure or stress or something, and a shower of rock and some splinters are now all around you, Mordecai. And you are going to take... Oh, whatever. So you are going to take 1 bludgeoning damage, as I guess a pebble bonks you in the forehead. And then you are going to take 3 piercing damage, as some splinters give you boo-boos.
All right, then.
And a dust cloud kind of...
All right.
But the tunnel's not blocked. It's not blocked fully. You all can, you can still kind of, squeeze through it, just so it's narrowed a little bit.
Okay.
We should be careful going through if it's going to... Why would the break room collapse? The break room should be one of the most trafficked parts of the mine, because all the miners would go there every day.
We were
And-
warned. It's the break room. The room broke.
Oh, damn.
That
That
must be
is a fair
a
point.
language barrier. It was written in Common, and that's my second language instead of Gnomish, so that's why I misunderstood.
I thought it was obvious. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's a fair point, though. You know.
If
So-
only I had a familiar that I could send on ahead. I wonder if my cricket can do it. Miss Cricket, are you here? Piggy, would you be willing to hop on ahead and look through the little crack and see what's up ahead? Pat.
So is the tunnel collapsed in, or is it not?
Partially. You all can, well, especially, actually, I don't even think Bright would have to squeeze. The rest of you might have to squeeze through. And Peggy Sue is just,
She's only like a couple of inches.
Yeah,
so she could fit through anything.
yeah, she's good to go.
I'm sorry, I'm sniffly today. I think I'm allergic to mines because I'm a forest gnome and not a rock gnome. Rock gnomes love this stuff. No, I don't. I would much rather be in the forest. That's why they're called forest gnomes.
Tweak a lot.
Yeah. Different. So I guess I can go up ahead because I can tell that Peggy Sue doesn't want to. So she can come with me and stay in my hair, and I'll just kind of wiggle on through.
Okay.
Be
I'll get
careful in
dirty.
there.
It's very soft and pink, and it's hard to get mine stains out of your soft pink outfits.
I hate it when that happens.
Even with prestidigitation, it's hard. Okay, if I go on ahead, everybody? Just to take a quick peek?
Quick peek.
Yeah. Yeah, quick peek.
Okay.
Just be
go to-
careful not to get crushed by boulders.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
smart.
Gives a tap on her shoulder, like she's reassured. Yes, of course. It's all good.
Okay.
Aha. Hi,
Oh,
Katie
thank
Sue.
you.
Good to see
Thank
you.
you so much. Okay,
You're not
well, let me go on ahead.
All right. So you, without too much extra effort, and you have to climb over a little pile of rocks and not get some splinters yourself from one of the broken beams. You do make your way through the rubble pile that is somewhat blocking your way, and there is, lying beyond that, a room that's kind of shaped like a liver, or like a rounded triangle on its side. And sure enough, there are a lot of benches. There are some barrels that are labeled water. And there seems to be like a food pantry as well.
Okay. So, are there exits from the room, or just back the way I came?
Yes, actually, there are two exits from the room. Along here, there is an exit, and if you were to continue from this part of the tunnel, almost pretty much where there is a gap here in this corner, there's another, like the tunnel would seemingly continue through this open room, with another exit being what was drawn here.
The here and the this way and the that way, those are things I don't see. So which ways are they? Are they left, right, ahead? One of them's ahead, right? What about the others, left and right?
Oh, okay. So you're entering, and so there would be one exit straight ahead of you here, and another one to the right. I'm pinging on the map. I don't know. Is that showing up for
There's
just
no
me?
map. I just see the
What?
scene.
Bright, if you end up taking a look further to the further left, just keep scrolling to the left.
Okay. Now I see those things.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was it? Was a matter of zooming, or
Yeah.
okay?
I was seeing only the other half of the image. I didn't.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
Okay.
Jade knows these things. She always knows.
Okay. I feel better now. Okay, so now that I can see the map, I don't want to go on too much farther ahead, so I'll just go back and say to everybody, come on, it's okay, it's kind of safe. You'll just have to squeeze a little bit.
What do you mean, kind of safe? See, there is.
Well, we
perfectly
definitely
safe.
want to.
It's probably not perfectly safe, in fact. That's why we're here, because it's not. If it was perfectly safe, they wouldn't have gotten us.
Glad we got that cleared up. Jade just goes on ahead.
Okay.
Squeeze on through.
Okay, so you're squeezing through the collapse, doing a little shimmy, shake, and you all do find yourselves here in the break room. Real quick, so I can get rid of my purple lines. Do I just press delete if I
Only
highlight them?
You can select them. Yep. And you just hit
There we go. Okay, there we go. All right. When you so Jade is going ahead. You're taking the lead ahead of Mordecai and everyone, or are you going back to your marching order?
Oh, she'll stay ahead. At this point, she has no reason not to.
Sure. Okay.
And unfortunately for the poor Mordecai, he isn't doing so well for luck. The beams wanted to eat him. I know that the beams want to eat me, so at least I can see it coming.
Definitely be on the lookout for that stuff, Jade.
Jade, when you enter the break room, it does look like a break room. You see benches and such. However, maybe somehow Bright missed the fact that in the middle of the room, it looked like some barrels and crates have been rearranged to look like a person, some sort of humanoid, with a lid opened up like a mouth, and an arm that is made out of like some rope and some wood is holding a miner's suit above the mouth like this, and it's just standing
The
there.
barrels are taller than I am, so I didn't recognize it.
It's just standing there in the middle of the room.
People. No one mentioned anything about barrels eating people.
Well, it's fair enough that Brett didn't say so. The barrels are taller than her after all.
It's no excuse.
Real quick,
Jade, leave the short girl alone.
Well, I'm working on a spell to make myself taller, and if we ever get to level 4, I'll probably learn how to cast it.
Yep. All you got to do is survive to level 4. Real quick, Volvo, thank you for becoming a fickle god, and you could whisper me or do whatever you'd like to let me know how you'd like to influence things. Here are you have a Kuotoa, a lizard person, and a Quaggoth as the common and uncommon normal size minis. And your piece de resistance from adopting the box of minis that you have is a large carrion crawler. So I'm sure you could have a lot of fun with that. A large carrion crawler. And Volvo, also let me know the address that I can send this mini to, or any others that you end up supporting. So yeah, he's ready for business. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so yep, made out of barrels and rope and whatnot. It looks like there's a supply crate. It even says supplies on the side with the top opened up, and it looks like it's holding a miner's outfit above like its opening.
Oh my god. They made the miners into water. She looks into the barrel that looks like an open maw and looks into it. I think they're beyond saving.
My camera is being the butt. I apologize.
It's fine.
Yeah, okay. So I didn't know we were coming here today, so I brought the wrong spells. But if we want to wait 10 minutes, I can see if this is a magical setup or if it's just like freaky.
Definitely freaky. Couldn't hurt anything.
So give me a few minutes and let me get to my books here, and then I'll cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
Okay. So you all, hey, you're in the break room. There's plenty of benches.
Take 10, and hopefully, if any of you seem like you feel like you're turning into water, besides Jade, because I know she feels like that all the time, but if anyone else feels like they're turning into water, then let me know, and we can hurry out of here. Okay.
That's fair.
You mock me, but one day you'll see me as a puddle and go, why didn't we listen? Speaking to me through a straw.
Okay. So you all are here in the midst of in the midst of this place. There is a barrel of water that is still on the ground in supposedly an area it's supposed to be. And in fact, you also you see that there are some crates of it would be like trail rations or jerky, things that they'll get you by. If any of you want to take any of the water here or eat what is available, you are welcome to.
I don't know.
I think I'm good on all of that.
Scavenge metal from the farms, so I don't think I'll scavenge food from the mines either.
Okay.
Jade at this point is, well, is free. And Jade starts to reach for the jerky. And if nobody else stops her, she's going to grab that and immediately huck it in the bag with the rest of them. And just watches it be slowly pulled by the insects to the bottom of the bag.
Okay. All right, so almost like paper down a paper shredder, it just sort of like, and it gets pulled down into the bag of bugs.
Now back to 10 rations.
Or it kind of reminds me of the movie Hook, Robin Williams and such, and they put the one pirate in the
boo
in the
box.
boo box. Exactly. You have a portable boo box.
Just mix them in with the rest of the food.
As you're doing your hocus pocus alakazam bright, your ritual completes, and you are detecting transmutation magic is glowing all around this statue of rope and supplies and things along those lines.
So it's magic. It's transmuty, so it turns things into other things. So we should be careful with it because it might actually turn you into water. Ooh, I've got the magic pearl. It's actually not a magic pearl. It's just a regular pearl, but I think of it as a magic pearl because I can use it to do magic, and I could identify it if we want to spend 10 more minutes.
If you want to, I'm not opposed.
She trusts you. She thinks.
It's
So-
better to know what's going on than to not.
So I'll take my magic pearl and looking at the pearl through my little orb, and I look at it, and, and then I look at the thing, and I look at it, and then I look at the thing, and I look at it, and I look at the thing, and it takes 10 minutes of that, and then I get to identify it.
Okay.
She's day tripping.
As you're gazing through your pearl ball, so to speak, and you're trying to get a handle on what this magic is, you
It
notice
actually takes 11 minutes.
11. Oh, it's 1 plus.
Yeah.
Yep, gotcha. Let's see. Yes. So that
hopefully I don't
is
turn into water.
hopefully not. Mm-hmm. 1 second. Okay. As you're gazing into this, every once in a while you swear that you see a little face peering back at you, on this that's on the surface of your little cricket fetched pearl. That is kind of like hee hee hee. But when you look at it again, the face is gone, and you notice was that a light? I don't know what's going on here. Well, your magic is going off. You're concentrating. You're casting this as a ritual. You're up and down and all around. It is a fabricate spell that is affecting this creation. So
Okay.
a spell that makes things out of materials.
Oh. It's a fugazi. That's a gnomish word. It means it's fake.
Fake. Okay.
Convincing fakes. We all are, aren't we? Like, we are just characters played by really bad actors in front of horrible gods that bid for our fates.
The meta.
But I just might be mad.
I think that part is actually true. So
I'm
Okay.
not crazy, you're crazy.
So I think this is a red herring, not like literally a red herring, although maybe it started off as a red herring and now it's a different kind of red herring. Does that make sense?
Is it delicious?
I think it's delicious now, but if it was a red herring before, then maybe it was. But I think we can. I think someone is just doing this to mess with us. So it's probably the
Pranks.
pixies, but
It's
maybe
the pixies.
maybe it's not. We don't really know that.
Something definitely trying to trick us, though.
It's all gonna just turn back into normal stuff in a few minutes. So, I think. Yeah, it lasts. No, it lasts. It lasts forever. So I was wrong. I had to think about it. I had to look at the spell.
Well, you'll get your head out of books.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with books.
But
Books are how you learn.
books are basically the only thing I'm good at. Otherwise, all I can do is write pretty things in books. So everything I can do is just about books.
Jade punches her tome a lot tighter at this point.
It's true. I do really like my books.
That's what's mine.
So I think we should ignore this and move on to the next place because we've wasted 20 minutes on this and we didn't know we were wasting it, but now we know. So we should.
Red herring.
It's
Delicious.
better to know what kind of tomfoolery is going on in here than not
It's
know.
those damn pixies, and when I
Curses.
see them,
One of the pixies is named Tom.
Oh, tomfoolery.
No,
That's
that's-
it's an expression.
yeah,
I want to kill Tom. She starts to saunter off to the next room.
Are you?
Okay.
So is Jade sauntering up this away or over this away? Oh, up that away.
Up that away.
Okay. After a short while of going through this tunnel, the path branches left or right.
I think I will end up taking the right because it's not left.
Okay.
Definitely follow her for now.
All right. So your torch is spitting and crackling. You all are getting this warm pine scent, in like a fireplace smoky scent. In other circumstances, it might actually be quite pleasant, but probably not here and probably not now. Jade, you begin walking, and as this path turns slightly, so it starts turning up, and I'll erase this here this way. You find yourself, Jade, now over here with Mordecai, Bright, Lycup, and you are now behind Celine. Celine, what is your passive perception?
my passive perception is. Give me just a moment to check.
Yep.
15.
Okay. Jade, I don't suppose your passive stealth is 15 or greater, is it?
My passive stealth is 11.
Okay. Celine, as you're marching, someone's coming up behind you.
Celine is gonna turn around immediately.
And there's Jade holding a spitting pine resin torch.
I didn't know that left was right.
Wait. Did you? You went down the other passageway, didn't you?
Clearly not, or we would not be having this conversation. Maybe I was confused.
It's non-Euclidean geometry. See, we're up at the top of the map, so we can't go any farther that way. So that's why it has to wrap around.
Celine swears in Elvish about stupid Fae shenanigans.
I think it's kind of fun. Let me. I'm just gonna run around and see if I run around in a circle.
Okay. So Bright goes off, whee, down the tunnel. Whee! Okay, that's just fun saying. And you run a ways, and you don't run, face to butt into someone that's in front of you. In fact, you end up running for a short distance, and you kind of make another, like, a hairpin turn. And instead of doubling back as Jade ended up doing, you find yourself in almost like a large teardrop-shaped room. And this room is filled with all kinds of very earthy scented, slightly glowing fungi.
Oh. Well, I don't want to mess with those. So I'm just gonna go back because this is obviously not what I expected.
And there would actually be so if you're having that here, we would bridge that the tunnel would connect from here to here, and there is another exit to the room over here that would be continuing almost to make a circle. Then this is just like a ballooned out area as it continually curves around.
So yeah, I think I'll yell first, like kind of loud, but not very, very loud. Just hey, hey, come this way. It didn't curve around again.
Okay, so you start going hey, hey, and you hear and one of the mushrooms that you're next to begins kind of like vibrating and sounding a little bit like a tea kettle ready to go off.
See, these are mushrooms, but
No.
hoping that people would come here rather than everyone just. Okay, I'm gonna take the dodge action.
Okay.
That's a very good idea.
Something explodes, and hopefully people will arrive at some point. That would be just swell. And I will continue to dodge and move back down the hall at.
She's been gone too long. I would have followed shortly after.
Okay. So you're getting out. You want to make sure you round that hairpin turn, and sure enough, I mean, there's Mordecai, Lycup, Celine, and Jade is bringing up the rear by also being the first one around. I'll let you work that out, Jade. How that going in a circle, who's in the lead and who's behind. But yeah, so you almost bonk, like you're rounding the corner. You don't need a light source. You see the glowing lights of Mordecai's dancing lights. They almost appear like the mushrooms, like a kind of a low level kind of a glow. But there you go. You turn the corner and boop, right into Mordecai, and he's there, and everyone else is.
I guess the weird magic that made it go round and round. Maybe it only works one time, or maybe it only works on Jade. I don't know. But I mean, that's not the first time we've run into weird magic that only happened once, right? Because we had this happen in the flower fields. So we should all be ready, because whenever there's magic like this, usually somebody dies. So let's not have that this time, and let's go in and hopefully we'll be okay.
That's not right. The last time the weird magic shit happened, Raphael died.
Mordecai's gonna pull his short swords just to be ready.
Okay. Shink.
So, I still have my mage armor from before, so I don't have to cast that again. And
Gonna draw my rapier and shield.
because I didn't know we were coming here, I brought the wrong magic, but I'll still be okay, I think.
Okay.
So, maybe somebody who's tougher than me should go first. I don't know. I think maybe Celine is the toughest, actually, now that all of our big, strong people have gone away. But, yeah, there she is.
I think that's the case, yes.
Also, she's immune to everything, so that makes her good.
The legend continues to grow.
She's not even immune. I just got super fucking lucky.
Celine,
Oh god.
Celine,
Yes.
just remember, you hear the voices too.
Okay. Yes, I do.
All right, so Celine, are you marching forward to go into the place that Bright just ran from?
I'll follow
Or
up behind Celine.
okay,
I don't mind. I'll go third, I guess.
okay.
Yeah, because if I go down.
Oh, your voice is cutting out, lethality. Whoops.
It's because of the magic mushrooms. They're messing with her voice.
Oh yeah, that's true. Hey, yeah, if Discord is cutting out, it's clearly Fey interference. we have roleplay the reasons for technical difficulties now. Isn't this wonderful?
Yeah, no, my the internet that my new place just got is it likes to kick my computer off the Wi-Fi consistently, and I have no idea why. I need to have a look and see if I can't fix it. But now that I am back, yeah, no, we're gonna walk into the room and being very careful.
Stealthy.
Yeah, stealthy.
Okay, roll your. Do you have disadvantage on stealth?
No.
Okay, roll your stealth.
Are all of us rolling stealth?
Also, are you using guidance on that one?
I don't think I need it. I mean, that's a 19.
That's the fun thing about stealth is you don't really know. If you're not and you're happy with your 19, then you are proceeding forward at a comfortable pace to Celine.
Yeah, no, 19, because
Oh, doggo.
if something beats the 19, then I'm going to be really surprised.
Okay, so Celine, you round the corner of this kind of hairpin turn, and sure enough, there is a room full of mushes. It is a mushroom, and they are all kind of faintly glowing, and they're growing out of the walls. They're growing. There's even like a couple crates, and they seem to be growing up out of rock piles and such. It smells very kind of earthy in here.
I'm sensing some Fey shenanigans right about now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't we all go into the room so that when the mushrooms explode, we'll all be there. Is that okay?
Yep.
Over here. It's a pretty tight fit. I hope there's room for us all.
Yes.
I want to see if there's any traps. I'm not proficient in anything to
sure.
find them, but I want to see if there's anything weird.
Weird?
Well, we could always end up doing.
I'll give you weird as a freebie.
No.
But there's plenty of room for you all to be in here, and Lycup, as she looks around, seems rather confused. Oh, these aren't the kind of mushrooms that normally grow in the mines here. I haven't seen these ones before. And as she's talking, one of the mushrooms begins kind of making like a whistling, and it starts vibrating.
See, when it goes off, it'll wake up everything in the mine. So, maybe, I cast a firebolt at it.
Okay.
Should I roll attack?
Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. You're still gonna hit. I was really just seeing if you're critting or not. Okay. So it starts going, and you shoot a firebolt at it. It overcomes the mushroom, and it just sort of like sizzles.
So we're gonna have sautéed mushrooms here in a minute, but I think they're probably all gonna start doing that soon. so we should either leave or get ready. I don't know which.
And Light Cup goes over and kind of. Yeah, it's good. I've not had a mushroom like this before, but it is very good tasting, and I'm not getting the belly tingles that my kind get. Must be safe, no poison.
That's good.
If one of them's if another one starts making that that whistling noise, I'm gonna Siegfried flame it.
Well, I know dwarves can eat just about anything. They very rarely get food poisoning, but that's not true for me. I get food poisoning all the time, so I'm not gonna eat it.
She plucks the mushroom and just starts nomming at it.
Okay.
My people are connoisseurs. What's that?
I really hope this isn't like polymorph her or something.
Rex.
No.
Shall we proceed?
If it's doing anything, it's making her content. She's not had a mushroom like this, and she says that dwarves tend to be mushroom connoisseurs, and she's actually quite happy. I'll have to tell my mother about this. And she starts actually, like, plucking a couple of them.
Should we proceed then?
Whoa, where'd I go?
Yeah, I don't see you. Roll20 is not
Hey,
being
Roll20
compatible.
derped
There
out
you
on
go.
you.
Hello.
Yeah, no, roll to me just derped out real like. What the?
The Fae hate you.
Oh yeah, no, they do because I'm descended from them.
They hate the fact you spoil their fun, putting you to Betty Pie.
Well, they can get stabbed in the face.
I like this plan. Can I have their eyelids?
They didn't seem to like. They didn't seem to
You know
like.
what?
me at all.
It's not Tazray's eyelids, so yes, you can have.
Yay!
Are you exiting the mushroom?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to go first.
You want to go first? You said.
No,
First.
don't want to go.
Oh,
first.
don't want to go first.
I want to go in the middle.
Okay.
Middle is the safest place for me.
Hey, Mordecai, why don't you go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
And then I will follow after Mordecai.
Okay. So, as you're leaving this tunnel, it does a little snake around, and you're continually turning, and it will end up looking like it loops back over here after some way. Though there is a similar room to the one that you're in that is right. So it'd be a chamber that's right over here. Now, mind you, Jade, when you left down the tunnel and you reappeared behind Celine, you didn't see any of these rooms. It's just you turned a corner and suddenly there was the back of Celine. So you have some options here. As what I'll do is why don't we do this? Because you are
horrendous blackouts.
As you're kind of hugging, you're hugging the ceiling here. Let me give a little bit of a prompt. So we had a room there, and a room here, and whoop, and whoop, and whoop, up like this, and that went out like that. Okay, if you all scroll to your maps, I put something in the lower corner just to give you a little bit more room, and by that I mean I guess a lot more room. So we'll move the tokens down this way as well.
That's why it says MR. It stands for more room.
Yeah. Yes.
Or room, break room, spoilers plenty.
Okay, so there's a junction down here that you can continue to go up, or you can circle back around, where it looks like there are some more mushrooms, but not of the same variety that you had encountered before.
Okay.
Doesn't Bright wish she had Fireball now?
I think it's a pretty tight fit for Fireball. But they don't squeeze in around corners anymore, so it would be safe. but if I were gonna do it like 10 years ago, I would blow everybody up.
Yeah, you had to calculate the volume, and it would actually fill the tunnel beyond the... Yeah.
But it's okay, we'll be safe. Maybe the magic mushrooms, like the mushrooms are responsible for the teleportation. And sometimes I've heard of teleportation where it changes depending on where you come from. So that might be why Jade got zapped around, or maybe it just the magic has to recharge, or I don't really know. Those are just my ideas.
Or
They're very good
someone's actively playing tricks on us.
What if I ate the mushroom and it made me forget? Is that something I would do?
I don't know.
Honestly, Jade, yes, that does.
Would you
Yes,
even
it does.
remember?
That's what I give it to Jade.
No, and that's what's scaring me.
Be okay for you.
Genius.
So why you could try it, and if I don't know.
Jade, are you eating a
Yes.
mushroom?
Jade is looking around for a mushroom that looks like it's been plucked and eaten. She's looking for evidence of she's done this more than she'll actually do so.
The only evidence of mushrooms that have been plucked are also those that are associated with Lycup, who seem to have gone through the various bunches of them as they're growing, and was picking the plumpest, juiciest ones in her opinion. But you're not finding kind of like a stray stem or anything where you may have kind of casually picked one up and just sort of popped it in your mouth.
Okay, save that theory for later. We'll continue on. Is that way's north, right? She stops and realizes that her sense of direction can't work in here anymore, which concerns her a lot more.
Sense of direction.
There's
this
mushroom
one came from,
2,
or
and
what?
then I'm sorry, what's that? What's over here?
Where I just pinged here, is this where we came from, or did we come from like down here?
Yeah, you came from down there, and so your choice is to look at this other mushroom or to continue going this way into whatever the next chamber holds.
I mean, I could always cast Detect Magic again, but it would take another 10 minutes, and it's just going to probably say Conjuration. So I don't know if it's even worth it, but
I say we just keep going.
going.
Maybe if we're getting a little lost, we might want to do something about finding our way back. Lycup, does this look anything familiar?
No, not entirely. The spaces, they make a sense, but I don't remember anything about the mushrooms or some of the other things. Like, why would the miners make a big supply crate eating one of their own?
Well, I was meaning more like, would you be able to get us out of here if we get lost?
Oh, yeah, that I can do. I can tell you which way is which, and if stone is good or bad.
All right. So are we going in a direction we've already been?
No, I'm not believing so. Although, and she's scanning around. It is odd. Something is just not right, though. I'm having trouble telling what it is. Actually, Mordecai, since you are where you're at, You can give me a perception at advantage.
Okay. 21.
Oh, look at you. Okay. From where you're standing, let's presume that your character is facing, north or whatever direction this is, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can hear perfectly fine out of your right ear. But it's like something in your left ear has been deafened or muffled, or you're getting kind of like you're not hearing in stereo, or at least not very well. The balance has been shifted, so the majority of your hearing is happening in your right ear, but there's less hearing going on in your left ear.
To kind of test that out, I kind of want to slowly turn my head to see if the direction changes.
I was going to say, it could be, like, sometimes Peggy Sue will crawl into my ear and then I can't hear out of it very well. And also I've heard about bards who play their instruments too loud and sometimes they lose their hearing in one ear. And also sometimes if you shower and you're not careful, you can get water in your ear and then you can't hear out of it. So there's lots of possibilities.
It's been a while since I've done all of those things, at least since this morning.
Jade could have given you a wet willy of the damned.
Check to see if I left a centipede in there.
As you're scanning around now, whichever direction that you have an ear facing this room is kind of muffled or dampened, Mordecai.
I'm curious, so I want to slowly creep up, not go very far, but slowly creep up and see what's going on in that room.
Okay. There's faintly glowing mushrooms that appear different than the other mushrooms, but it's another kind of smaller chamber, more of like an expansion of the tunnel, and there's mushrooms growing hither and thither.
And so, like, the sound behind me is okay, but the sound in front of me is deafened.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah.
Okay. I shoot up a dancing light and throw it into the room. Do I see anything else in the room besides the mushrooms?
Nope, that's it.
Does it have an exit on the other side?
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem to exit and loop back around.
So yeah, I'll let the rest of everybody know what's in there. It just looks like another mushroom. Oddly deafening though, so I don't think that's it's a smart idea to go into that way. So maybe we should go this other direction.
That is a good idea.
Okay. All right. So, party resolved. You're going to continue going, we'll just say north.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay. After wiggling through some more mining tunnels, and again, every now and again, you're finding a glove, a boot, and some, maybe they're left haphazardly. At one time, you swear, Mordecai, as you're traveling, that there was like a miner glove that was pointing in a direction, and you kind of do a double take, and it's just sort of like hanging on a peg. Now you are wiggling your way through. You now come to a rather large chamber, and it has well, good thing you have dark vision. I mean, Jade has a light, but as there is a trench that is quarried or otherwise dug into the floor. And I'll give you I'll give you a bit of a heads up on this if we're gonna connect it here. The trench is going to be pretty early in, and it ends in a pit here.
Okay.
How deep?
The trench itself is about 10 feet deep, though the pit is it's quite oddly conical, and so it probably actually it very steeply goes down about 30 feet in the middle. But I mean, given the diameter of the pit, it's
We should all be careful not to fall in. And also, there was a sign way back at the start that said ditch, and this could be the ditch. Maybe we've looped around.
That's entirely possible.
Very, very possible.
How far across is this gorge?
it would be like another mining tunnel that was just sunk into this room. And in fact, you can see here that there is the ditch does turn into a tunnel as it disappears into a wall. And you can also see that there are two other exits on the floor level. One is here and one is here. So there are technically 3 ways in or out. You could go to whatever this I guess sub-tunnel level, and you could go into the wall, or you could stay on the surface level and you can take the lower exit or the upper exit. Lower or upper. So you have 3 choices here.
So, can I, using my dark vision, can I see down to the bottom of the conical deep pit?
Yes. As you are looking into the pit, inscribed in a spiraling, ever tightening pattern, appears to be a language that maybe you can't necessarily read all of it, but Gnomish might at least be partially based on it. You're seeing maybe some familiar characters, but the context, the language itself is escaping you. And it also seems to share a couple things in common with Elvish.
Script as Elvish?
It is some sort of, well, look, if it looks like Gnomish, it looks like Elvish. It's some sort of maybe Fey-related script that is spiraling down this cone that has been made into the ground.
So, I'm gonna say, so there's some funny writing here, and I don't quite understand it. I only kind of get a few words here and there, and I think it's probably Sylvan, but I don't really know for sure.
Jade, like a beetle, just on all fours, suddenly scurries right up to the edge. Her eyes peek over as they start to swirl and swirl and swirl. And maybe she has that look like she's just read a Junji Ito chronicle.
Mordecai, can you make some lights down here so that Jade can see? Also?
Yeah, I'll throw all the dancing lights down in the pit.
Okay.
No, making lights is easy, but I never really learned how to do it because I can see in the dark.
Makes for good.
So I'm glad you know how.
So Jade, as Mordecai's dancing lights do just that, and they're kind of like in a slow swirl down this steep cone. They are reflecting the words up, and in your own eyes are just almost like swirling as you are understanding, or your brain is attempting to understand the words that are written in this spiraling language. Though as you're reading, it comes across more as if onomatopoeia are words that describe sounds, you are getting words that aren't words, but you're getting emotion, you're getting intent. It's almost like a actually you're a gulak. It's almost like a written form of telepathy. It's odd. It maybe it makes your brain itch a little bit, because you're getting conveyed intent, but it's just so weird. It's kind of awkward to see it written out in front of you, because normally it's just something that's understood or directly stated on this emotional psychic level. And
But I can share it.
and
in other words, it makes perfect sense to Jade.
It probably does. Well, I mean, I'm going to give you a translation, but I also want to make sure I'm setting up the I'm setting up the impact.
That's actually somewhat amusing, and as she does so, Jade will convey this as it is written.
You're getting repeated themes of awakening, of harvesting, of needing to grow. So of growth, and in fact, what you're kind of getting is how I've been titling our episodes. They're action verbs: awaken, harvest, grow, defeat, overcome. And you're getting this sense that these words that spiral down are directives, are a mission statement, something, but the way that it is worded is in an active voice, it almost like commands. Obviously the way they're presented is quite oddball.
Is there a way that one could interpret this as either a written history or as a command or a statement of purpose?
Tell you what. You can give me either an investigation, not arcana, or an investigation or an insight. Or actually, let's just combine the two. Let's have you roll an intelligence-based insight. How about that?
I have no bonuses or I have no proficiency in insight, so it's straight intelligence.
Okay. As your mind is working and weaving this odd script. Your eyes are darting and swirling, and you're trying to comprehend not just the meaning of the words, but the intent, because they're supposed to convey intent, yet they're written words, yet they're this, and yet they're that, and yet they're. It seems to be like a speech bubble rising from below and growing wider. And perhaps these are directives. These are commands coming from someplace beneath where you are at.
We need to go deeper. We need to go deeper. Yes, yes. There's something wants, something commands. Where are the commands coming from? That's at this point, she looks to her party, and again, her mouth is moving into absolute nonsense, but she conveys these thoughts, this intention, these general motions in directly using awakened mind, and my thoughts to your thoughts in one of the most invasive ways possible, as she continues to almost scream internally in her head, trying to make it stop.
I always like it when you do that,
Do what?
but that's just me.
right? So we go deeper.
I don't know, maybe. So my guess is that of the entrances that we've got here, it's probably one of them goes back to the main room, and we don't care about that. And then the other one, my guess is that this is the one that goes back, and this one probably goes here. Oh, it's not working. This one probably goes to the ledge, and maybe we should check the ledge real quick before we go deeper, just in case the people that we're trying to rescue are stuck there, because the ledge sounds like the sort of place where people might get stuck in an avalanche.
What's it?
Yeah.
Mr. Plunderloot, thank you very much for the re-up of your subscription. I very much appreciate that.
But
How far across is the little chasm that we're gonna go over?
It would be like a standard 5. I mean, 5 is nice and round for us, but it might be like 6 or 7 feet across.
Okay.
It would be, you could march single file down this tunnel and not feel squeezed. You may feel claustrophobic once you actually get into more of the tighter tunnel area, if any of you are claustrophobic.
I think were we wanting to go to the exit next to that then? Not the lower one, but the one next to it.
Think that probably goes to the ledge that was mentioned earlier, and I don't even know if there's anybody there. But I mean, we are here to rescue people, not just go exploring.
It's true.
we should have a look just to make sure.
Go look, make sure that see if there's people there, see if we can get them out, and then we'll.
And hopefully
explore.
we can all successfully jump over this chasm without falling in, because that would be really embarrassing.
Right.
I got rope. Do you see Jade in the back slowly tying the noose?
If anyone
Toss
should
me.
fall, I've got a bit of a cure for falling too hard.
Jade is getting a very nice compliment from Mr. Plunderloot. Or is that an insult? I don't know.
Damn it, internet!
What's that?
I'm just swearing at my internet. Don't mind me.
Okay.
I'll jump across
the
the
berries.
None of you should have a problem hopping over this tunnel / chasm. Even Bright, you should be able to hop over that. You have a strength of 8, correct? So.
But remember, gnomes have the proportional strength of ants, and we can easily lift a lot of weight. So I'm sure I can do it.
Yep, you should be fine. So all of you, if you really wanted to, you could watch Bright kind of teeter up to the ledge, go hee, and just jump across. Oh, congrats on the new car, Plunderloot. That's good news, sir. All right, so wee hoo hoo ha ha.
Gonna leap over the chasm.
All right.
With my strength of 8.
Yeah. So for a couple of you, you only have a couple feet to work with, but you all do manage to get over the tunnel. So I presume you're not going in the tunnel. If that's the case, then which are you going in the upper, or the lower?
The lower.
Lower. Okay. Do.
So my guess is that back to the break room or to the ledge, and I'm not sure which, but it probably goes back to someplace we've already been. But we can check it off that way if we do it.
Right. Looking for people.
Okay. The tunnel kind of the tunnel does more wiggling, and Mordecai, I want you to make me another dexterity saving throw, please.
God dang it. 16.
Okay. You leap out of the way as once more a support beam crackles and groans, and before finally kind of giving out, and a dust cloud kind of wafts over you. All of you you're caked in dust. I mean, bright, your big, bright, sparkling eyes as you kind of like blink, 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 blink them open again. That's probably like the only, like, you just have like this just, you're covered in dust and everything.
This is going to take so much prestidigitating. I better get started. So I start taking it all off.
I'm gonna take like 30 seconds.
Alright. Well, as I proceed, I want to be on the lookout for those kinds of things and see if I can spot them before they fall.
All right. Then, as you're marching down the tunnel here, Lycup. Oh, I think we've marched down a little ways. We've descended slightly into the earth further. It's a very gradual, but if you look behind and you look ahead and you taste the wind and you have our senses, that we do. We've gone down a wee little bit.
Maybe we didn't end up where we thought we were going to end up, but that's okay. We're having an adventure, so hooray!
As the tunnel here ends, there is a long, narrow. This itself would appear like a chasm, except you're on the ground floor of it. As extending perhaps, well, Mordecai, when you reach the end of the tunnel, your dark vision doesn't see the end of it. So let's say that you all are stopping here, that this is the end of the tunnel of the wiggling and everything. Your dark vision catches about, I don't know, about here. There's actually a wooden bridge going diagonally from one side to the next that is hanging above this big gash of a room. And there's more room beyond your dark vision.
Okay, so kind of draw that out a little bit here.
Yeah.
So you said that there's a bridge over like a wide chasm?
And we're at the bottom of the chasm.
Yay!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're on the ground floor of the chasm as there's this upper level, and there is a wooden bridge that is if you can get the 40 feet up to it, you could get onto this upper level, but there's no ladder or ropes or anything hanging down.
I have rope.
So maybe this is the ditch that the sign was talking about instead. Probably a lot of ditches. But this is
That's
the
probably
biggest one
true.
so far, and so this would probably be the one that they might make a sign for.
I am.
There's
I
an
am.
even bigger one later.
Do we wanna go up to that other level?
I'm gonna
Um,
punch my router.
We can look around down here first.
But no, if we do want to get up to the upper level, that's why we have grappling hooks and rope.
You do have
I brought
grappling
lots of
hooks,
stuff. I brought a climbing kit, and I brought a grappling hook, and I brought and then we all have rope, so it'll be okay.
Yeah, I have a climber's kit and a grappling hook and some rope.
Okay. So you all are starting to walk into this sort of like long scar-shaped room that has the wooden bridge. Celine, you had a passive 15, you said, correct?
Yeah, passive perception 15.
Okay. You notice that there's a section of rock that it looks different, and in fact you're kind of seeing like a little like poof of dust by a crack at the bottom of this door, indicating that there's some sort of wind can move through. It could be blocking off a tunnel or an entrance of some kind, but there is something here before you get to the bridge, and in going into the room as well. The room extends another So for the proportions of the room we're talking about, there would be another square of this size that then tapers off into a tunnel at the end of it.
So you're talking about this one?
This is a crack in the wall, or it's a kind of a misplaced stone that you are noticing.
All right, and it's in that 40-foot high wall on the lower level.
It is on the lower level. Yes, you can access it from where you're at.
Okay, I will point it out to the rest of the party, bringing their attention to this. It's like maybe we could get through here instead of climbing up.
Maybe. So does this if looking over here,
Mm-hmm.
does the chasm continue, or is it a wall?
It continues. It tapers out into so about half the room. This isn't sized as it is, but that's fine for what we're narrating. You have half this cavern you are occupying. The bridge is about the halfway point, and then there's another half of the room, and it kind of tapers into a tunnel that turns back that way. So you can climb up to the bridge, you can explore this crack in the wall that Celine found, or you can continue through, like, on the ground floor of this chasm to the other end and take the curving tunnel.
Jade is most
Why don't-
certainly fixated on the crack in the wall.
Explore the crack in the wall too, being as we're here.
Okay. It does... It's a large boulder that has been maybe, like, rolled into place, made to try and look naturalish, but it's just kind of leaning up against a mine tunnel or something along those lines.
While they all fuss with the rock, I'm going to start casting Detect Magic,
Okay.
and it lasts for 10 minutes. It takes 10 minutes to cast, and then it lasts for 10 minutes once I'm done. So that way, if we see anything magical, I'll see it.
Alright, well, what I'll do is I will get I have a crowbar with me, and I'm going to use that crowbar to try and lever the rock out of the way, because I am a weakling.
I'm gonna assist.
I think then I'm going to aid in my own special way.
Stand back
Guidance.
so that I don't get smushed.
Yep. So would that be an athletics check with advantage to move this,
No. This
doesn't exist.
a crowbar versus this rock is not going to be giving you advantage. In fact, it'd probably cancel disadvantage. But you're using a small, like a meter long or a yard long crowbar to try and pry a large rock from that's sealing a tunnel entrance. So it's really not providing you too much of a mechanical benefit.
Okay. Well, I mean, Mordecai did say that he was going to offer assistance as well.
And inspiration. I'll inspire you.
Yeah, cool. Inspire me to do this. Jade, are you going to cast guidance?
Yeah, I just didn't want to spam the chat again.
Okay. So I'll roll
that
the
if somebody's clearly going to be going first or doing something, Jade will probably cast guidance on it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. It's a cantrip, so free. Right. So I will make the athletics check and then add the d6 and the d4.
Okay. And the crowbar starts bending.
So that's a 19. That's a 19 all up.
And it pries, and you're hearing the stress of the crowbar. And it flies loose and kind of like bing, 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 and you hear it skitter down the chasm somewhere as it flies out of your hand. The rock hasn't been moved too much. Maybe Bright could squeeze into the opening you've made. Your crowbar though is pretty well. Yeah, I mean it's bent and it's.
Yeah. So it's like, just groans.
Well, you tried.
So, you could tie a rope around it and use the block and tackle.
I do have block and tackle.
'Cause I'm busy casting my spell.
Do we want to try that then?
You tell me.
I was asking the party.
Jade is in full support as the nemesis that is this boulder needs to be dismantled.
It's true. So I'm going to do that.
All right. Mordecai, you're tying a rope around this boulder to try and get it in a position to use the block and tackle the pulley. You're gonna have to describe to me how you're doing, like how you're going to end up using the leverage or the pulleys. As you're doing that though, you're bringing the rope across. Something on the other side of the boulder starts like tugging on the rope, just like 3 times.
Oh, I can't see past the boulder at all?
No, it's big. Like you have to tie. You got to go around it.
Okay. Like, how big of a boulder are we talking about?
It's blocking like a 6-foot diameter mine shaft.
Okay.
So like you can get it around the top. Obviously, if you have to, it'd be a little weird if you like went behind the boulder into the tunnel you're trying to open to then tie a rope around a boulder to haul it away.
Yeah.
But you can try and get around the top and maybe like pull it or like continue to scooch it to the side. But you're getting some little tugs on your rope.
Is somebody in there? Like, kind of, like, if I can find a crack, I just kind of call out to somebody.
Silence.
Okay. I continue getting that set up, and so to where I have the pulley kind of working to where I pull on it, and it's going to, like, maybe not necessarily lift the boulder, but kind of like slide it out of position.
Plip, 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 plip. You hear little water drops. Plip. Trickle, 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 trickle.
Jade ends up pressing her ear to the boulder and listens. Is she hearing like rushing water, or is some sensation that this boulder is actually blocking a lot of water behind it?
You are hearing a plip, plip, trickle, trickle, and then kind of a burble, burble like a brook or a stream. It does sound like it's coming from inside the boulder, but as there's a crack, like you can. There's a crack that it wasn't completely sealing. No water is coming from the crack, but the boulder itself is emanating these watery sounds.
Maybe we should wait until I finish detect magic.
And
also, you could ask Lyca.
Well, your detect magic goes off, and once more, Bright, you are detecting transmutation magic.
So, I mean, this could be obviously just something that's like, you know how there's magic items that just make an infinite amount of water sometimes? This could be like that, except in a big rock. And I don't know why anyone would put that in a mine. It seems really dangerous. But it could be, I don't know. Maybe we should take 11 more minutes.
All right.
Because I brought all the wrong spells. Did I mention that?
Bright is you're reminding me of Bernadette from Big Bang Theory. You're like an aggressive short stack micromanager.
She is actually my favorite character on that show.
Oh, okay.
This was not a conscious decision to be like her, but I see where you're getting that.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
If you feel that would help us in this situation, Bright, by all means. But do we
Can I
even
tell
want to bother moving it if it's magical?
Oh, I mean, I'd like to find out what it does, and I don't know. I mean, if it, like, what if it goes kersplush and we all get soaked? That could be bad because it could flood the whole mine. And all the stuff that's down below, it could all get soaked, and that would be bad. Or we could even, I mean, we could probably tread water and just like float up to the next level, and we'd probably be okay, at least long enough to get out of here. But then we wouldn't be able to finish exploring the mine. So I don't know.
We could leave it for now and come back to it.
Jade, as you are listening to it, though, you are getting, like, when you pull your ear away, it's actually kind of wet. Like, the side of your face is wet.
She places her hand and she tastes. Is it actually tastes like water?
Yeah.
When do rocks cry?
They don't.
Typically
What a
don't.
song.
Give them some magic, though, and they might.
No, I'm gonna just start casting Identify on the rock, and if people decide to do something else, we can always just abandon it.
Jade has a moment of inspiration, which is probably a terrible idea now that I think about it, but let's give it a shot. She's going to Eldritch Blast the rock.
Sure.
She's not trying to. She just wants to make it drain.
Okay.
Don't hit me. Careful. I'm downrange.
Using the big round room on the map as a guide, show me where you want to Eldritch Blast the rock. Just ping where you want it.
The entire thing is, Jade's going to move here, and she's going to try and clip it on this corner.
Okay. So if the round room is a representation of the rock, are you trying to hit it like in the middle? Are you trying to just like knock the? Oh, you want to go for like a lower section?
Lower section.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit. It's a boulder. I doubt you're gonna miss, but I want to see if you're gonna crit one way or the other. Okay. All right. So you hit, and your Eldritch Blast does blast a chunk of the rock off, and as that happens, the rock seemingly turns to water that is, I mean, if you took a chunk of rock out, like yay big, you're getting like a big kersplush all against the wall. And everything's just like dripping and trickling, and water's kind of like pooling, and there's dust that's floating on it and such. And the rock is now like seeping continually, adding to the puddle that was just created.
So it's just gushing and gushing out.
It's well, it's not trickling out per se, but it's not it's not like someone hit a fire hydrant on the street corner.
Okay.
Give it a few minutes to drain. Should be pretty easy to move. She just walks off like that's a statement of fact.
Okay. Well, I'm still casting Identify unless it gets like, and I'm pretty short, so if it gets up to like knee deep, that's like waist deep for me, and that's too high. So let's say ankle deep. If it gets that high, then I'll have to reconsider.
Yeah, because we don't want your book to get messed up.
Or me, also.
That too.
Bright, as you are casting your identify spell, once more, as you look at the pearl and you're gazing into it and you're gazing over, you're getting this like fisheye lens effect of a little face, and I do very much mean that. In fact, you had a fairy that was kind of all up on you in the hot spring, or a little sprite, I should say. And you're getting this like mischievous smile that you've seen before as it gets in really close and and as you're looking and you're casting, when the spell completes, you hear whispered in your ear as if someone is that like has like picked up one of your pigtails and is just like right against your ear, and you get 3 words: dust of dryness. Before your pigtail is let go. Make an Arcana check.
Well,
You naturally, so you may not necessarily know what this substance is. However, your identify spell is going to be going off anyway. And your spell informs you that this is transmutation magic that has consumed and reduced a large amount of water compressed into what appears to be like a rock. Well, in this case, it's a very large rock. That said, doing some quick mental math, you're calculating it out, and you think that perhaps we're talking about more than just ankle or waist deep, an amount of water that could fill this cavern or this chasm. Whatever this dust of dryness, it seems to absorb water and sort of reduce down. A lot of it has been used to be stored in this boulder, and this boulder is now leaking more and more and more.
So
Jade is
I
smiling
think
because she did good.
Some cracks are forming at where the Eldritch Blast had impacted, and those cracks are leaking water.
so. This is basically like a big magic sponge, and I think it's leaking now, and I don't think it's going to get better. So I think we have kind of a problem on our hands, and I think it's going to, which is like kerploding, crossed with kersplushing, and that's bad because it's going to be a lot of water coming all every which way at once, and we could all drown. And I don't want that. So I think we're going to have to go up to higher ground, and I think we're going to have to abandon our mission to go explore the lower level, because if it floods, we'll all get stuck down there. And I'm trying to learn a spell to learn how to breathe underwater, but I haven't learned it yet. So,
You don't have a way to just get rid of it?
There's now a fire hydrant pouring out the side of this boulder.
I think we have to go right now.
Yeah,
to
let's
go.
go. Get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Crack, 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 crack. Are you? Where are you running, or where are you going?
I'm going to
Join
attempt
the
to try
game.
and climb up near the bridge.
Yeah, higher ground.
Well, all right. Do you want to climb the bridge, or are you making for the exit on the other side of the chasm?
I'm
Hey,
going up
we
to
need to go back the way we came. It's the only safe way.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Okay, so about face, and you're going to go back to the round room.
Way.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You all start scampering out of there as you hear. I mean, you're hearing thousands of gallons, tens of thousands of gallons now of water, and the sound of shattering rock, and just as a part of this boulder splinters off. Water pours out of that new hole, but where it impacts the cave wall, and that splinter then also shatters, more and more and more and more and more water is released as this. It's a very quick I mean, for us in modern days, it would be like a fission reaction without a carbon rod to slow it down. Just, I mean, damage is causing damage is causing damage is causing damage, and water is just pouring out of everything, as everything is now kapang, kapang, exploding and gushing.
Those miners are totally fucking dead. Totally dead.
And, you know, and you, hot on the heels here, this chasm area now is filling with water. You can hear it sloshing and frothing and bubbling and roiling. You know, at this point too, you can hear it behind you. The boulder has like shattered and is being propelled all around like, it's like a water rocket, except it's rock shrapnel. And should a sliver of that ever pierce you, then I'm sure you'll have a fun time. And you're just hearing it spank and crash and kung, 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 kung all over, as the entire place is just a frothy, churning mess. As this entire boulder made of this substance called dust of dryness begins being compromised and pouring out its contents everywhere.
I think we should.
Oh, dust of dryness.
We should run back the way we came. I think it's the only safe way, and maybe we can find. I don't know. I think the people who were trapped in here, they're not going to make it. I think we're going to fail our mission. But we don't also have to die, so let's hurry and run back the way we came.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
So as you retreat, remember as Lycup said that you were traveling down, you are going up on the way back, and the water doesn't chase you past a certain point. So you're seemingly above the water level.
And splashing and gushing.
Those miners, they're gone.
Oh no, yeah. Let's. Can we still hear the water splashing and gushing?
Now all you're hearing is just kind of like the burbling and lapping of water in the cave, in the tunnel, down here.
Let's go back and see how flooded it is now.
I didn't kill anyone. I didn't.
Oh, you just broke a rock.
You couldn't have known, Jade.
You could have if you just waited a couple extra minutes.
Jade, so are you following Bright into the tunnel? Or do you want to check on your handiwork?
I'm not going anywhere near that damn tunnel. But I mean, if Bright wants to cast Rubber Ducky, then.
Oh, I can't hear you, Derek.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll be joining. We might be walking out with one less gnome.
Okay.
Broke the rock.
So,
The gnome.
Bright, you are investigating the water here. It is.
I just want to see how high the water level has gotten. If we can make it back into the into the bridge room, that would be swell. If we can't, well, now we know.
You can if you are willing to dive underwater and hold your breath. So as the, here we have like the cave tunnel here, and you have the water level. And so if you're standing here, and this was the tunnel going down until you got to the cavern level. It is seemingly flooded up.
That.
Okay.
I just want to find out how high the water got. Like if I can tell like how much flooding it caused. That's all I'm after here.
Okay. All right. Jade, as Bright is investigating, a large, watery tendril erupts out of the cave and wraps around Bright and is now holding her. is now holding her up in the air, and is slowly starting to retreat back down into the water tunnel.
Is that a Jade hallucination or is that real?
You're welcome to kick and scream because it's real.
Okay, I cast Misty Step and I disappear back behind Jade.
Jade?
Okay, you need to understand how this looks from Jade's perspective. She has been hallucinating this stuff for a while.
Earphones gave out. 1 second, I can't hear you right now.
That's okay.
Tell you what, this is a dramatic moment. I have my battery pack, but of course I left my USB cable out in the other room. Let's take a little bit of a potty break and a break for a snack or a drink, and we'll come back and we'll resolve this once I can get my earphones plugged back in. Because I can't hear you right now, and if I turn on my speakers, it's going to get all redundant in my microphone. So my earphones are forcing a break here, everyone. Let's meet back. I have we had a little bit of a late start, and so we're having a little bit of a late first session. I have 1:37, so I guess we'll come back at 1:45, and then we'll resolve what happened here. Now that Bright is using her magical defenses that she's garnered from being eaten by several things before. All right, so BRB.